Howdy, and welcome to Lead to Grow, Lesson 1 on Leading and Managing. In Lesson 1, we're going to discuss, are you a leader or a manager? And how to identify your natural bent toward leading or managing. Peter Drucker said, management is doing things right. Leadership is doing the right things. There's a great difference between leading people and managing things. Leading requires a strategic focus on effective communication and relationships, and managing requires a tactical focus on efficient processes and systems. Both leadership and management are necessary to produce healthy and thriving organizations. All too often, though, relationships play a second fiddle to results. I imagine you're thinking, I do listen to and respect my people. I really value their input. Well, that's exactly what I thought about my own leadership for many years. And I, like you, sincerely thought I was doing well in the relationship department until I received an evaluation. In 1989, through a confidential 360 degree evaluation, I learned that many of the people around me thought I could significantly improve in terms of relationships. Ouch. I learned that while I was sincere, I was courteous and respectful with when employees wanted to communicate something to me, but I didn't really seek out, listen to, and learn from my people's insight and advice. I learned that the more you elevate relationships, the more you will benefit from the improved results that only a truly valued and united team can deliver. I also learned that as I begin to improve my communication style and interaction in the workplace, I develop methods that truly strengthen our workplace relationships. This intentional focus on people in turn created a dynamic team and achieved the results I had always desired. Effective leaders allow their people to learn, grow, and contribute to the organization in meaningful ways. They allow their people to help them learn through open and honest communication and feedback. You should endeavor to connect with your people, even if you think you're already doing so. There are immediate and invaluable advantages to building and enhancing your workplace relationships. Well, by now, you may be wondering whether you should make some changes to your own thoughts and actions regarding your workplace communication and leadership. If you are anything like me, you probably have some room for improvement. I learned that there is a big difference between being nice and being an effective leader. Here's the good news. You don't have to change your entire leadership strategy overnight. You can begin by implementing small changes and go from there based on responses and feedback. You will need to determine whether your natural bent or bias is toward leading or managing, and examine the differences between the two and understand the benefits of pursuing excellence in both relationships and results. The result of these approaches has been nothing short of transformational in my company and in my leadership. You can experience the very same shift in your organization and leadership starting when? Today. You know, as a young boy growing up in Colonial, Virginia, skipping stones across the Rappahannock River, George Washington seemed like no one special. Countless others had greater wealth or connections. Yet, even at an early age, he had a bent, a natural leaning, a propensity that was recognized by others. Ultimately, his bent toward courage and leadership resulted in his appointment as commander of the Continental Army during the Revolutionary War, as well as his election to the office of president twice. We all have a bent or bias toward thinking and acting a certain way. Our bents typically develop throughout childhood, driven by our character and natural abilities, which is one of the many reasons why, as parents, we have a responsibility to help our children understand and appropriately use their life's bent. You know, by adulthood, we usually have a good idea of where our strengths and weaknesses lie. This applies to the business world as clearly as to any other area of life. You know, in business, I found that there are two main leanings: leading and managing. Even though I had learned that many people use the terms leading and managing interchangeably, it's not as difficult as you might think to determine which way you lean toward either leading or managing. You can better understand your bent by clicking below on the downloadable On and In Leadership Assessment. It takes a few minutes to complete, and you'll receive customized feedback when you complete the online assessment. In fact, for the best results, I recommend that you not go any further in this training until you take 5 minutes and complete the assessment. By the way, the on and in means to work on the business while you work in the business. Well, in lesson one, we've been discussing, are you a leader or a manager? And how to identify your natural bent toward leading or managing. So what is your bent? Do you lean more toward leading or managing? How did the On and In Leadership Assessment confirm or challenge what you already thought? Well, in this lesson one, on leading and managing, write down 2 or 3 action items that you're going to take today. And this concludes lesson one on leading and managing.